안녕하세요. My name is Louis Cho, and this is our video project for Asia 327. It is generally known that current K-pop genre has its influence from Western popular music. This can be seen through many collaborations of both Korean and Western artists, some of which we saw in lectures. The general notion is that traditional Korean music has fallen out of popular culture and we rarely hear or see it in contemporary music today. However, we argue this is not the case. Our question for this project is to what extent does traditional music have a role in modern K-pop? Our thesis for this project is that traditional Korean music does still have a moderate impact on K-pop and modern popular music in Korea. Although K-pop is moving towards the electronic and digital era, we can still see the use of Korean traditional instruments being incorporated into the melody or just the rhythm of the songs.
잘못됐다고 느낄 때쯤 이미 늦어버렸단 걸 알았지 네 눈빛이 말해주던 차츰 I was damn 내 말은 네 맘이라고 노트를 펼쳐 한 글자 한 글자 빗물처럼 찍어 내려가던 이름 하나 묻자 최선을 다하긴 했어 대답이 없는 의문사 슬픈 표정으로 기억에 불을 붙인다 기억을 되돌려봐도 변하는 건 하나.
In the beginning of this video, you can hear the hayagam, a traditional stringed instrument, being played in the background. And in the next one, you will hear a remix of a traditional folk song, Nililia. Sorry if I butchered that.
G-Dragon, 하트 going MB 이것은 힙합 우리나라 민요의 랩은 시구절 시구자도 몰아난다 현실로 내가 돌아간다 Hey, we can celebrate every freaking day 입거리에
As you can hear in this music video, G-Dragon includes the original traditional instrument as part of the main BGM. In an article by K-pop stars, it quotes G-Dragon saying, quote, "It's a track that has the motive of using a Korean folk song," end quote. The use of Korean traditional sounds is a recurring trend throughout the industry, which leads to subtle success. And it is shown by the author Joelle Lee, quote, "The 1990s also brought efforts to incorporate traditional sounds into contemporary popular music," end quote. The significance of this quote is that he's arguing that this incorporation of traditional sounds did not start in the recent 2000s. It went as far as back as the 1990s.
With the increasing number of live performances by artists, it is not common for them to still perform traditional Korean music. Though not as old, but still vastly relevant in the current performance scene is trot. Trot is still being performed and sung by current artists.
채워줘요 사랑의 배터리가 다 됐나봐요 당신 없이 못 살아 정말 나는 못 살아 당신은 나의 배터리 한 번 더 나를 안아주세요 가슴이 터지도록 안아주세요 사랑의 약발이 떨어졌나봐 당신이 필요해요.
A popular but very old song is Arirang, which has been sung for many generations in Korea. Though the current versions do not include the traditional beat or instruments, it is sung in a very similar fashion. The first video showed the traditional version of Arirang. When you compare it to the more current version of Arirang sung by BTS at the 2016 KCON festival, it still maintains traditional elements of the original song. In his book, Joelle Lee mentions, quote, "Even Trot isn't fading gently into the night. Jang Yin-jong, mentioned earlier, brings her glamorous appearance and vocal prowess to a revitalized K-popified trot. End quote. What did this mean? Lee is convinced that trends and styles do not simply vanish quickly. The fact that trot remains an element of Korean popular culture, like the drama Trot Lovers, is a sign that trot remains a popular music, just for a different audience.
Traditional culture is showcased in music videos through more than just utilizing conventional traditional instruments as its background music. It also presents the audience with visual imagery of Korean traditions. In the next video, Top Dog does an exceptional job bringing together traditional instruments, scholars, and dance and shamanistic masks in order to create an imaginary world replicating Korea's past culture for the viewers. On the other hand, we also see the relevance of Korean traditional music in live performances. During the past few Chuseok festivals, we see many popular artists such as BTS, Super Junior, VIX, and etc. dressing up in hanbok while performing their songs.
On a whole, culture and tradition is very important to Korean people. It brings about a strong sense of nationalism, which, given their history, is valuable. In popular culture, this is emphasized as seen in our first week of class. AOA's Jimin and Seolhyun were publicly disgraced for being unable to identify An Jung-geun, a famous Korean nationalist in 1900s. The Korean celebrities are expected to have at least a basic foundation of their country's history and culture. K-pop idols can also be seen as an entryway to expose the younger generations listening to be able to relate to traditional Korean culture on an updated level.
핸드폰 아니에요 이거. 핸드폰 안 돼요. 네. 안 됩니다. 네. 네. 이제 내리셔야 합니다. 네. 안중근. 안중근님 맞아. 안중근 선생님. 거북선. 이순신.
그래서 귀한 시간 내서 참석해 주시고 이 자리를 빛내 주셔서 너무너무 감사하고요. 그리고 앞으로
네.
앞으로 더 신중한 모습 보여드리도록 하겠습니다.
네.
죄송합니다. 열심히 하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
We cannot deny or ignore that traditional music is still around today. Although it has been pushed aside in favor of K-pop and other popular genres, we can see its legacy in the music we listen to and the music that is being produced by all these major entertainment companies. It did not influence popular music to the extent that Western music has, but its legacy cannot be denied. Traditional music will always remain an influence in the evolution of Korean popular music, and that is something that will persist throughout Korea. Thank you.